Okay, this video is purely subjective, but it's based upon a lifetime experience with cameras and having owned, used, and tested every Nikon DSLR made. My top digital DSLR cameras of all time, one of which is not here because I'm filming my ugly face with it right now. That's the Nikon D700 in no particular order. Does the Nikon D700 stand out in any particular area other than incredible extreme value? And the answer to that is yes and no. Mostly no, but partially yes. It's certainly the best value. And it gives people, it's kind of like power to the people sort of camera. It gives people the ability to, have a professional camera for, basically, talk about as new refurbed for $500 or less, and that's incredible. The Nikon D700 is just absolute top of value. Does it have incredibly fast autofocus? No, but I mean, it's a perfect camera for birds in flight. It's not fast autofocus for that, but the actual pixel pitch on it is incredible. So, I mean, I'm filming my face with it right now, so that's why I don't have it on the table. So it comes first, but there's not a je ne sais quoi, there is not an ineffable quality, other than the extreme value and what the camera brings to the table. As far as, is it outstanding for portraiture or landscape or, sports? No, it's not, but it has other qualities, namely its incredible value and, other than some really high ISO banding issues, which most anybody would never experience. I mean, the camera is, is incredible, and it's just incredibly priced. So I placed that on the list in no particular order. And also in no particular order, the Fuji XT1. And as I just mentioned in a prior video, Fuji's about to announce the successor to this, the Fuji X Pro 2. Vertical battery grip is going to have two batteries. It's going to be about 6 millimeters thicker. It's going to have a 24 megapixel sensor, same processor as the X Pro 2, larger dials. It's going to have a threaded shutter release. It's going to have improved continuous autofocus over that of the X Pro 2. It's going to have a unique articulating screen. But this is the camera that I absolutely, is this a camera for sports action and wildlife, birds in flight? No, it sure as hell is not. Someone said, well, since you recommended the Nikon D500 so highly, and I was spot on. I was just spot on the Nikon D500. Why would you grab for the Fuji X Pro 2? There is an ineffable quality. There's a je ne sais quoi of this camera that is, it is something you won't find on the spec sheet. The control layouts, the ergonomics, how it's used, the forethought that went into this is incredible. It's kind of like a couple older cars that don't have really awesome spec sheets. They're not the fastest, they're not the largest engines, but they're so incredibly loved for an ineffable quality. Kind of like the Volkswagen Beetle, for example. I mean, who would, that's not fast, it's not, it's kind of ugly in its own way. Why is it so incredibly beloved? And it's one of those things that you can't stick on a specification sheet, and that's a huge value of the Fuji XT1 and what's going to be the XT2. This is made like a tank. It's an all-magnesium chassis. It is made in Japan. Made in Japan. And to me, that is incredibly important. Incredibly important. A Fuji, there's very little plastic on this camera also. I'm not a huge fan of plastic. This camera is incredible. It has a timeless quality that even 5 or 6 years from now, just as with the Nikon D3, which is already going on 8-9 years now, there's an ineffable quality that you'll be a pleasure to use this even 5, 6, 7 years down the road. I know that for a fact. So, Fuji XT1, incredible. A lot of people gave me flack for so highly praising the recently released, and I've got two of them now, Nikon D500. I said that this is going to be a legendary camera, and I was right. It is the highest rated camera on the DPR's website. Even edges out the Nikon D5 by a good bit. And I said why the Nikon D5 was a bummer of a camera. Oh, how can it be? It's $6,500. How could this $2,000 camera be better? It is a better camera. It is. It doesn't have an anti-aliasing filter. It's the same megapixel count. The only place the Nikon D5 excels over the Nikon D500 is incredibly high ISO performance. because it has huge honking photo sights and a full-frame sensor. For birds in flight, sports, action, wildlife, this is a faster lens, has faster autofocus acquisition. Nikon really stepped it up hardcore on the Nikon D500. Even though it only just came out, I said from the get-go, I said, look it, this camera is the tits, it's amazing. Nikon, kind of saw, people turning to cell phones and point and crap cameras, and they really stepped their game up, and the Nikon D500 is amazing. Amazing. The buffer, the buffer is non-existent now, basically. You just keep rocking and rolling. Incredible. The little sister to the Nikon D3, and that would be the Nikon D700, all magnesium chassis, also made in Japan. This is basically kind of like the cheap version of the Nikon D3. The output on this for portraiture is incredible. As I mentioned in prior videos, if someone has unlimited budget for photography and they're writing the crap off in the taxes, they'll be like, you got a pair of Nikon D810s and a D4 and a D4, why do you still own that Nikon D700? People that can buy whatever the hell they want are not selling this camera. They'll look at you with an air of wisdom that, they will communicate to you without words. I know something you don't know, and this camera for portraiture is incredible. It's heavy, it's a tank. It's ineffable beauty that is just unmatched. It's exquisite. Even though it has the exact same sensor, signal processing on this is radically different than the Nikon D3. The output is certainly a good bit radically different from the D700 versus the Nikon D3. I've got a few of these. This camera's going nowhere. Oh, by the way, I don't own a Nikon D750 anymore. My D750, bye-bye! D750, go bye-bye. D750 went pedaling down the road. Okay? Week and a half ago, D750 hit the bricks. I don't own a Nikon D750 anymore. And do I regret it? Not one bit. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't. This is an old camera. We're talking about 8 years ago. This is the toughest digital camera ever made by anybody. Canon, Nikon, anybody. Sony doesn't count. They're not even a camera company. They're a consumer electronics company. I had to throw that in there, I know. Love it. It's indestructible. It's amazing. The buffer on it's incredible. Very simplex. 2 compact flash cards. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to learn how to use this thing. I love it. It's a beast. It's incredible. It is amazing. This camera is the best, even though it's not rated extremely high by some people, and it is an older camera, this actually has a rating a hair higher than the Nikon D500 in my book. In my book. And now you're saying, well, you said before, you seem contradictory, because where's your Nikon D810? You said that is your favorite Nikon. Yes and no. My Nikon D500 sits right along my side, my Nikon D810. Nikon D810 is king of portraiture, and it's king of landscapes. 36 megapixel camera, awesome. Nothing's gonna beat it. No AA filter. Portraiture is incredible. It doesn't make the cut. That's the reason why I didn't put it on this table. The ineffable qualities of the D810, it's not there. It is my favorite Nikon alongside my Nikon D500. If I could only have 2 Nikons, it'd be the D500 and the Nikon D810, because with both of those, I can do anything and everything, period. The buffer, the speed, the action, the low light, I said low life, yeah, the low light, the Nikon D810, portraiture, landscape. Neither one of them have an AA filter, by the way, which is a huge plus. Also, one of the many, many, many reasons I got rid of my D750. D750, bye-bye. No, have D750 no more. So, these are my top 5 cameras. This is my personal choice based upon, using all of these and many, many more cameras extensively. And I had over a year and a half with the Nikon D750. D750, there was nothing that wrong with me cutting the ties with that camera. It's like, adios. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out on the D750. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out on the D750. Yeah, I said that twice because it deserved that kind of attention. It's a great full-frame camera. It's not king of anything. The kings of attributes, as far as usage, is the D500 and the D810, currently. So these are it. Fuji XT1, Nikon D500, Nikon D3, Nikon D700, and Nikon D700. Like I said, there's nothing outstanding as far as, can it do anything? Is it king of anything on the D700? And the answer is no. But the value and what it brings to the table, and countless thousands of people got the camera at my recommendation. They're all just happier than a worm in a pile of poo. The camera is, the camera is unique in its own way. It's just an incredible camera for an awesome value. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Okay, catch you tonight, maybe.